What would you do for the life of your dreams? Really, think about that question. What would you do for the life of your dreams? If you're watching this, you're probably thinking anything. Oh my God, my life sucks. My job sucks. My health sucks. I feel awful all the time, and I'd do anything just to break out of this. But would you actually do anything? Like, would you actually do anything? What if I told you you have to cut off your best friend forever? Would you do that? What if I told you you have to cut out alcohol and desserts? Would you do that? What if I told you you have to give up everything you have ever known and literally start over? Would you actually do that starting tomorrow? What if I told you, oh, you have to hire this mentor, they will fix your life, but it's a few $1,000s. Is a few $1,000s worth changing your life? I feel like I have so many conversations with you guys and you're so desperate and you want something new and you hate where you're at, but what are you willing to do to get where you want to go? And one of you guys turned the conversation on me. So I asked you guys this question. I asked my text list this question, and you guys like gave me so many great answers, and I got so much great feedback. Like, wow, like this is really mind-opening for me. And one of you said, you know, I want to turn that question back on you. Like, what did you give up to get where you are now? And this is the point of the video. I thought it would be really powerful for me to answer that question and give you a kind of deeper perspective onto what I gave up to where I'm at now. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of start from the beginning. I have like 2 stages of life that I want to talk about with you. So my first stage, I would call myself like a chronic side hustler. When I was 22, I got my corporate job, and this was like the epitome of everything I've been taught, you know? I was taught to get a great education so I could go to a great college, get a great office job, and this is what I did. I majored in chemical engineering. I got a job in the green energy field, which is what I really wanted. I was working with fuel cells. I moved to this new apartment that I love. Like, life was great until it wasn't. Until a few months into the job, I was like, oh, I can't do this for 40 plus more years. This is awful. And it wasn't that my job was so bad. My job was fine, but that's all it was, fine. And I'm like, this cannot be all life has to offer me for the whole rest of my life till I'm literally a senior citizen. So I began to look at like different side hustles, and this is why I call myself a chronic side hustler. I ended up doing and trying a ton of different things. So I sold stuff on Amazon, I did like graphic design, I blogged, I did all these things, and my ultimate goal was to quit my corporate job. So not only did I side hustle, but I also really took care of my personal finance well during this time. And I'm bringing this up because my whole goal was to quit my corporate job. All I wanted was to be able to have freedom in my life. My whole goal was freedom. Every second of my life, I was just like, how do I get more freedom? I wanted time freedom. I wanted to be able to just go to the doctor or the post office or get a haircut without it being like a whole big thing and telling my boss and taking personal time off, and then I can't even go visit my family in another state because I used all my vacation for just like living my life. So it had 2 aspects. I was saving and investing a lot and earning money through my side hustles. And I gave up a lot during this time period because I said, I want freedom more than anything. My driving question was, will this get me out of my job faster? If the answer was yes, I did it. And if the answer was no, I did not do it. So things I gave up included, I literally like did not cut my hair. Like, I don't think I got a haircut for over a year. And when I did, it was like at a crappy like $13 haircut spot, which if you see how long and like I don't know if you can tell, but like thick my hair is, they gave me what I paid for. I didn't go visit my friends, you know, after college. We all kind of scattered, and so it was always a travel to see them, and it was a whole weekend thing, and sometimes we'd have to pay for like hotels, or even if we could stay at someone's apartment, it would just be like going to expensive bars because a lot of them lived in like New York City. And I skipped a lot of trips and birthday parties because I just didn't value paying the hundreds and hundreds of dollars to hang out with them. I hung out with them sometimes, but there were also many trips that I gave up because I was like, well, I could spend $500 on a weekend of things I don't even want to do, Or I could invest that $500, which would turn into like $7,000 or whatever. If you Google like future value of money calculator, I used to like input every single dollar into that and be like, would I rather blow $500 on a weekend I don't care about or quit my job? So I didn't see friends, I didn't get haircuts, I basically didn't do anything that cost money. I ate literally like rice and beans type meals. Like I cut my grocery bill down so small. I had a lot of student loans, so before I even invested a lot, I put a lot of money towards paying off this debt. I maxed out my 401k. I was like working really hard to put all my money towards my future, and I'm really thankful that I did that because, well, I'll get to that part later, but now where I'm at, I feel so comfortable taking financial risks. If money weren't to come in for a month in my business for whatever reason, it doesn't matter because I have thousands of dollars in savings I can pull out at any time, literally for this emergency purpose. And I have enough money in my personal retirement accounts where I'm going to retire a millionaire. Like I'm just going. I don't live paycheck to paycheck because like I built the wealth already. So I sacrificed a lot, but I'm really glad I did that because I set myself up for ultimate freedom and it worked. On the other side of the equation was like earning money. So I was a chronic side hustler. I was doing all these side hustles. I'd start one, give it up, do another one, and this took a lot of sacrifice also. I had to sacrifice money, which, as you know, I was so crazy about saving, and invest in certain courses that were going to help me, mentors, product. One of my side hustles was selling sticky bras. If you remember, those were like popular on like Instagram, selling sticky bras on Amazon. I wired like thousands of dollars to like this guy in China because he said he could make them, and he did, and he was great, but I sacrificed my sanity. Like everyone thought I was crazy, and what is like actually crazy is when I was selling these sticky bras, I ordered like thousands, like a lot of them. They came in these massive boxes that I couldn't even move. They dropped them off at my apartment, and it took me like hours to move them to the basement alone. I had to like use all my strength to push every single inch. They're like sitting in the basement, and the bad part about this was, okay, my lease was ending for my apartment, and my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, had just bought a house, and I was gonna move in with him. But between when we could move in the house and when my lease ended, there was a gap. So we were moving into his parents' house for a few weeks, and this was the exact time I had all these boxes of sticky bras because they were only in my hands for a little bit. I was shipping them to an Amazon warehouse, but I wanted to see the product and make sure like it was good, and I had to put like these like barcode labels on every single one, and I got thousands. His parents had to come move me. We're like taking all my furniture out of my apartment and these massive boxes of sticky bras that were so heavy. All my stuff has to fit in my husband's like childhood bedroom, and then at night I would like go to work, go to their house, and like be putting these stickers on all these bras. Like I sacrificed a lot, my money, my sanity. Everyone thought I was crazy. Maybe I was, but they probably definitely think I'm crazier now. I sacrificed time with my husband. So there was a time, I would say the time that took the most time away from us was when I was still in my corporate job and I was a blogger. And if you've ever tried blogging, it's a lot of work. People warn you that before you start, but I'm like, no, like it'll be fine. No, it's a lot of work. Like I would go to work and then come home and like I wouldn't even talk to him. I would just like blog. And on the weekends, I didn't do anything on the weekends besides work. Like I gave up all my weekends and I'd be like, yes, I can get like a couple blog posts done. And I would blog. So in the beginning stages of my journey, these are things I gave up, like time, money, whatever. But I also gave up my entire belief system. I gave it up. I rejected, I appreciated where it got me, but I ultimately rejected the idea that you have to have a stable corporate job to make money. Actually, none of that's true. The richest people in the world started their own businesses. So it didn't make sense for me to go into an office every single day and work and say, oh, this is the only way to make money. That is a way to make money. And if that works for you, keep on doing that. But it wasn't what I liked. And it wasn't even the way to get the most money. I had to work to give up that whole belief system. When I began investing in business and buying things like thousands of sticky bras at a time, or a mentor that cost $7,000, which I'll get to in the next section, which for me, now I've spent over like $100,000 on mentors, but at the time that was a huge investment. And these are beliefs I had to shed. Like, who does that? That's so crazy. And I had to keep shedding my belief systems. You could probably relate to this when you're the one waking up every day, setting 8 alarms because you just have so much dread, getting out of bed, getting dressed, commuting to work, sitting in traffic, getting to a job that you don't even like, staring at the screen for hours, bored to death, coming home just to do your existential maintenance of working out and showering and cooking, and then maybe you have like 1 hour to yourself. Oh, my cat. Baby, no. I love you, but no. You wanna say hi? As a chronic side hustler, like, my side hustles were like, I would say like mildly successful, like a couple $1,000s, but I kept switching them. And I mean, a couple $1,000s is nice, but it's not like job quitting money. So between my personal finance and my side hustles, I was good with my money at that time, but you know, people thought I was crazy, and I did sacrifice everything. I was willing to cut ties with all my friends who loved partying every weekend still and going out, and life just wasn't about that for me anymore. Life was about freedom and not being trapped in a job just to drink away your free time and spend your money. I wanted to work for something bigger. I was like so set on finding my purpose and freedom, and I was willing to cut those people out of my life. I was really willing to give up a lot during that time period. But I want to talk about phase 2. Phase 2 is when I actually did quit my job. A little short 6-month period came, and that's when I went from like 0 to 100. I want to tell you now what I didn't give up. What I kept was my job, and my whole purpose was about to quit this job, but it was so hard to let go of this job. Like, I could not mentally let go, and that's why none of my side hustles were working. The reason I was a chronic side hustle was a side hustle would begin to make a few $1,000s, and then I would suddenly find a new interest in a brand new side hustle instead of stick with the original and successful one and build that up. I believed objectively businesses made money, but it was hard for me to see I am an entrepreneur. I earn money through a business. It was hard to apply that new mentality to literally me, since my belief system rejected that I was an entrepreneur who did not have a job in a steady corporate arena. My surroundings kept making me do different side hustles so that nothing could stick, and I was always in like building up mode rather than steady growth mode. And as badly as I wanted to quit, I wanted to quit so badly. There were multiple calls to my parents, crying, sobbing, like, I'm not gonna make it through the week, like, I can't go back there tomorrow. There were so many times where they were like, okay, then just like my dad was like, one time I was so bad, he's like, just sit at your desk and like do nothing and just like let them fire you, like, but just don't quit, or ask if you can take a leave of absence, or like anything besides quitting. Like, you can do it, like, don't quit. There were times it would be like lunch and I was pretty sure I would just disintegrate into the earth because I could not make it through the rest of the day. Like, it was so miserable sometimes, let alone make it through the week, let alone the month, let alone the next 40 years of my life. Like, this was so dreadful to me, and I needed a way out, but I was still stuck in that job because they have those golden handcuffs on you. There's always something around the corner, like, well, raises are next month, and I heard they're gonna be 4% instead of 3%. Like, whoa, what magic to live for, right? Well, my boss said he was gonna put me on this new project, so if he does that, and then maybe I can get promoted there, or, well, HR did say they were gonna reorg like our team, so then maybe I can get this new position. There's always something to like keep me there, and I let the fear of leaving dictate that. Because I was scared of leaving and letting go of the steady paycheck. I was terrified not to have a steady paycheck. What if my business didn't make money? I was terrified to not have healthcare. I worked really hard in college as a chemical engineer. I had studied so hard, like so hard. And I'm like, I can't just throw that all away. I gave all that up. And I chose to actively give up those beliefs, and I shed them layer by layer by layer. I did all my side hustles, and I finally found one that stuck. I was a money coach. I helped people build wealth. I still do that in a sense. I help you get wealthy. I just use the energetics rather than the personal finance strategy. I was making a little money. I was getting clients. I was making like a few hundred a month on like my best months. So not job quitting money, but it was somewhere. It was something. I felt good about this. I had eliminated enough limiting beliefs. I could stick with it. I found this coach that I really wanted to hire. It was $7,500. My business was not making that. I was really scared to invest in this person. This is the crux of these questions I'm asking you. What are you willing to give up? I was willing to see the person I could become. I wasn't her yet, but I stepped into the vibrations of who is this woman that I want to be? Who in 5 years, in 1 year, in 30 years, whatever, like in the future, who am I? And I said, I am a 6-figure business owner, like then a 7, then an 8-figure, like, but at the time my goal was 6 figures. And I'm like, I am a 6-figure business owner. I'm a 6-figure business owner. I'm a 6-figure business owner. And I kept affirming this to myself and stepping into those vibrations. And so when I made decisions, I asked myself, like, well, if I already was making 6 figures, what would I do differently? How would I show up differently? How would I act differently? And what would I do differently with my time? I really wanted a 10K month, so that's $120,000 a year. And I'm like, well, then if I'm really acting as her, and if I really believe I can do that, then I'm earning $10,000 a month. And so paying this coach $7,500, well, right now that feels crazy. In reality, that's less than a month's income. So I'm like, well, there's no reason not to do it then if I'm truly gonna be the 6-figure business owner that I keep telling myself that I am. I hired her. And I was willing to give it all up. I was willing to give up everything in my life to be the person that I felt that I could be on the inside. I was willing to give up the money. I was willing for people to think I was crazy. I was willing to drop friends. If this coach told me to do anything she told me to do, I was doing. Like, I was so committed to my goals. It didn't really feel like I was giving stuff up to do what she told me to. It felt like I focused on what I wanted. I just focused on who I wanted to be and what I wanted out of life, and just lived like, living by a prayer, like just, okay, this has to work because it can't not work. Even after working with this coach for a few months, I saw my business grow a little, but not really the growth I was hoping for. I still had ties to my corporate job. And then I got in a fight with my boss. That was it for me. In that moment, I decided I was quitting. Fuck the fears. Fuck everything. Fuck this place. Fuck not having money. I'm not doing any of this fear-based shit crap. That's not for me anymore. Fuck it all. I was in like, burn the bridges. I will quit on the spot. I was like so angry at him, so angry at where I was in life. I was so done. I was just done. I was done with being trapped. I was done working for a boss that absolutely did not respect me. This company was giving me nothing. I was over it. So angry. And in that moment, I decided I'm fucking quitting. Even though before I'd been like, oh, I want to quit so bad, I still had like fears that were like keeping me in the job. No. In this moment, I was fucking quitting. So I told my coach, I'm quitting. She said, good, I've been trying to tell you to quit. And I'm like, I want to be smart about it though. I'm not that risk taker person. I need consistency, and I need my business to show me that it's consistent before I quit. I quit. I'm done. I'll get my business to where it needs to be, but I'm not quitting today because I do want to be smart about it. And she's like, no problem. Here's what you got to do. Make $4,000 every single month for 3 months in a row. Will that number work for you? And I was like, yes. 4,000 felt good, because if I could make 4,000 part-time when I quit and I could work full-time, then I could earn a lot more. Let me remind you, I was only making a couple hundred up to that point. Like maybe I'd hit a $1,000 month. So $4,000 felt doable, but I'd never done it. So I worked really hard that first month to at least hit it month 1. And I did. I like the 11th hour, I made like one last sale. I made $4,000. I kept this energy going. Well, now I did 1 month. I got to do a second, right? I don't want to fail and then have to start over. So I'm too far in this. So I worked really hard again. And this month I actually made $6,000. So my efforts were paying off. The next month I just had to make $4,000 again. And I had to. I was like, oh, I'm so close. I can taste it. I get to quit if I make this $4,000. During that time though, the universe is funny how it works. My mom actually got sick, so I went home to take care of her, and I took like medical leave from work. My mom's totally healthy, by the way. So all of November, I actually did not work. I did not work in my company. Because of all these things, it felt like more than ever, like this was my 1 month. This was November 2019. So I felt like this was my one chance to do it all. For my quitting purposes, I needed $4,000, but I didn't have work. I didn't have the one thing holding me back. I want that $10,000 month. Like, if I can't get it this month, I don't have a corporate job. If I can't get it this month, I can't ever hit that. If I can't hit it the month I don't have work, I've been telling myself, oh, if I didn't have work, I'd be able to hit 10K easy. Well, now's my chance to fucking prove it. And so this month there was so much pressure on me, and I worked so hard. Even to this day, I have never worked as hard as I did during that month. I was willing to do anything. I did the energetic work. I did my affirmations 8 million times a day, and I gave up everything. I gave up that steady paycheck. When you're on medical leave, you don't get paid. I gave up being with my husband. I didn't see him that month because I went home to be with my mom. I gave up. I don't think I saw a single person besides my mom. I didn't hang out with friends. I didn't do anything. I didn't spend any money. I didn't do anything besides build my business. Tunnel vision. I gave it all up. I gave up every single thing during this month. And if there was more things that I had to give up, I would have done it. I would have done anything that it took during this month. I would have given literally anything. When I hit my first 10K month, I did it. It worked. And ever since then, it's been a few years now. A lot's changed in the world, but I would not be here today if I had kept living as society taught me to as a 22-year-old. If I had been 22 and trapped in my gold cage hostage to my feelings, I would just be living based on fear. I would just not have anything that I have today. Today, I quit my corporate job, January 2020. I have been full-time by myself ever since. I continue to make more and more money. I get to work on what I love. I now have that absolute dream job where I just get to talk to you guys and research, expanding our consciousness and decoding the universe. And I feel so aligned. I get to spend all day diving deep into ideas that excite me, figuring out how to unlock the universe and teaching it to you guys. I get to have people pay me to share my ideas, and this is all possible for you because I teach you everything that I learn. I teach you how to decode the universe, how to expand your consciousness, how to reprogram your subconscious mind to release these fear-based beliefs keeping you trapped and live the life of your dreams. This is all, I'm handing it to you on a silver platter. My private clients pay a lot of money for this. My private clients pay my prices right now. By the time you're watching this, they may be like way up, so I don't even want to say them really, but my prices right now are $6,000 for 3 months of private coaching. So for a whole year, which some people would pay me for, that would be $24,000. But I know this isn't accessible to a lot of people, so I created this whole new membership called Decode the Universe, and this is where it's everything I've ever learned in a formula so you can begin living your dream life. And I put it all. I make monthly masterclasses. There's an energy portal, as I call it, which is a group chat where the community is like vibing so high. There's like vulnerable, deep, transformative discussions, wins, breakthroughs every single day. Like, I can already feel everyone, even new members, like just becoming new people just by being in that vibration and growing into the humans that they want to be. I am so honored the fact that I can change even one person's life, let alone like a membership's worth. You get monthly masterclasses. I hired someone who's really just like me to help with the group. She sends out her spiritual infusions all the time, so you can do the energy work behind earning money and having breakthroughs and healing traumas and just feeling happier. You know, she was anxious and depressed and used the teachings. She joined one of my courses, used the teachings with me, other mentors, and really changed her life around. And now she's like, oh my god, like vibrating so high, and it's so fun to watch her transformations, and her energy is so great. I wanted to make this accessible to you. So I give you everything and more that my private clients get because I'm in the chat answering every single question, which is what my private clients pay me for. We have monthly discussions, and you can get all of this for, let me do the math really quick. It's 90% off. My private clients pay $24,000. This is over 90% off. So if you want your life changed on a silver platter, this is for you. And this is what brings me full circle back to that first question. What are you willing to give up? I talk to so many people who get to this point, they're so excited, they're like, okay, I have my dream version of me, I'm ready to be him or her. Ooh, but $1,000, like, no, that's like too much. It's scary. Making investments is scary, and that's not the only factor to consider, of course, but what are you willing to give up to live your dream life? What fears are you willing to crush? Or are you gonna wake up tomorrow and do the same exact things that you've been doing for the past 5 years and then complain that you're stuck? Or are you going to take that leap of faith? I am here for you when you're ready to make this transformation.